Good morning, class. I, Mukesh Tiwari, welcome everybody in Smart Exam Academy. We are going to discuss about Union Parliament today. It is a civics part. It is a civics part, first chapter. I have already uploaded the first chapter of history, that is the revolt of 1857, the first war of independence. If you have not seen, I will request you to watch that video first. So let's go ahead with the Union Parliament, the first chapter. Every democratic government is run by every democratic country, is run by the government, elected government. Now every elected government has three organs, that is the executive, legislature and the judiciary. These three organs work separately but in collaboration of each other. It is because of the collaboration and the coordination that the working of a democratic country carries on. So here executive means the prime minister and the president. The president is called the chief executive of India, and the legislature means the parliament. So here we are going to discuss this parliament, Union Parliament. It is the name of our chapter, Union Parliament. Judiciary means the Supreme Court and the High Courts. So let's go ahead with the legislature. Now, what is Union Legislative or Union Parliament? Actually, Union Parliament is the body elected by the people of India directly. Through the direct election, the members of the Union Parliament are elected. And what is the chief function of the Union Parliament? The chief function of the Parliament is the lawmaking. It is a lawmaking body. All the laws and regulations of the country are passed by the Parliament. So the Parliament is a chief lawmaking body. It is also called the Union Parliament. You can pause the video and write down the main points of this question. It will make your understanding clear. So let's go ahead to next. What does the Union Legislative comprise of? So the Union Legislative or the Union Parliament is also called the Parliament because the chief function of the Parliament is the lawmaking and it is a legislative part. So it is also called the Union Legislative. It is comprised of the three organs. That is, first is the President, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha is the lower house and the Rajya Sabha is the upper house. The President is also a part of the Union Parliament, although the President don't sit, but everything is decided by the order of the President. Every legislative action are taken in the name of the President. All laws and regulations are passed after getting the signature or the assent of the President. So President is also a part of the Union Parliament. So the Union Parliament is comprised of President, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now let's move to the next. Now, as I have said, it is a small picture of the Union Parliament. The Union Parliament comprises of Pranab Mukherjee, the President, the ex-President, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Okay. Name the two houses of the Union Legislative. As I have said, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, it is the upper house, it is a lower house, and Rajya Sabha is the upper house, and it is called the bicameral legislature. What is the meaning of bicameral? Bicameral means the two houses. Two houses is called the is called the bicameral. Opposite of the bicameral is the unicameral, which means one house. But our Union Parliament is the bicameral. But in some of the states, the legislature is unicameral, like West Bengal. The West Bengal legislature is called the unicameral legislature. That means a one house, no lower house, only upper. No upper house. Unicameral means only lower house. Okay, I hope everybody has been able to understand this point. Okay. What do you mean by the federal system of the government? The federal system means the distribution of power. A government where the power distribution happens between the two area of the government, between the two level of the government. That is the central government and the state government. These two are different, but both the central government and state government work in collaboration or coordination of each other. Both are supreme in their own area. The central government should not interfere. It can interfere, but it should not interfere, or normally it don't interfere into the activity of the state government. The central government don't interfere in the activity of the state government, as well as the state government also do not interfere into the activity of the central government. Both of the two government work in coordination of each other. So the federal system of government, our constitution divides administrative powers between the administrative or the legislative or even the judiciary, both the administrative and the legislative powers are divided, are distributed, it can say the distributed between the central government and the state government. It is constitution. I hope you will not be able to see it. Constitution. So let's move ahead. Union or center and state. If we distribute the legislative function or structure, we can say that here it is, as I have said, that it is unicameral, it is bicameral, because it has the two houses, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Here every state, here I have given here the Vidhan Sabha or the Legislative Assembly or Vidhan Parishad, Legislative Council. But one thing I would like to tell you, that every state don't have this structure. Only 7 states have the bicameral legislature. Only 7 states has the bicameral legislature, but except these 7 states, rest of the states have the unicameral legislature. That means only Legislative Assembly is there, Vidhan Sabha or the Legislative Council is not there. Like West Bengal, it has the unicameral legislature, Vidhan Parishad is not there. If we talk about Tamil Nadu, it is also have the unicameral legislature. That means one house. Okay, so bicameral and the unicameral, I hope everybody has been able to understand. Let's move on. You can pause the video and write down these main points. Now Lok Sabha. How are the members of Lok Sabha elected? As I have said in the beginning of the video, that the members of Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people of India, which is called the general election. Through the general election, the members of Lok Sabha are elected, or it is also called the Lok Sabha election. The general election take place on the basis of universal adult franchise, and the members of the Lok Sabha are called MP, that is the member of the parliament. If anybody is stating the member of the parliament, it means both the members of the parliament. The Lok Sabha member is also called the MP and the Rajya Sabha member is also called the MP. So this thing you have to keep in the mind. Next, what is the term? The 5 years term. After every general election, the Lok Sabha is constituted for 5 years. For the 5 years, it is a general life of the Lok Sabha. After the completion of the 5 year, once again general election will happen, and once again the new Lok Sabha will be formed. Today the Lok Sabha is going on is the 16th Lok Sabha. Sorry, it is the 16th Lok Sabha, the Lok Sabha which is going on right now. Okay, it is the 16th Lok Sabha. That means 16 times the general election has been conducted, but on the advice of the Prime Minister it can be dissolved by the President before the expiry of the 5 years of the term. So it cannot be extended. It can be extended under certain circumstances, but normally it is not extended. It can be dissolved earlier, but it cannot be. It is very difficult to extend the life of Lok Sabha. Normally it is 5 years. If a question comes, what is the normal term of Lok Sabha? Your answer would be 5 years. However, it can be dissolved by President on the advice of the Prime Minister before the expiry of its term. Okay, all right. Now, seventh question: when and for how long can be the term of Lok Sabha can be extended? Yes, the thing which I was discussing earlier, that is called the national emergency. It can be extended for a period of 1 year of the time. During the time of the national emergency, what is national emergency? National emergency is called the critical situation in the country. If a country is attacked by war, external aggression, sorry, my handwriting is not so good. External aggression, war, external aggression, or rebellion. Rebellion means armed rebellion. Armed rebellion. A group of people when wage a war inside the territory of India against the government. Armed rebellion. So war, external aggression, or armed rebellion. It can be the President of India can declare national emergency on the advice of the Prime Minister of India. So during that national emergency, the term of the Lok Sabha can be extended for 1 year. But after the national emergency is over, the new Lok Sabha has to be constituted. That means election should be completed and new Lok Sabha should be constituted within the period of 6 months. Okay, I hope everybody has been able to understand. Let's move. Now, what is the composition? In the last slide we have discussed about the term and the exceptional case in which the term of the Lok Sabha can be extended. Now we are going to discuss about the composition. The composition, what is a member? The total member is 552, should not exceed 552. 550 is the elected member and 2 from the Anglo-Indian community. From the Anglo-Indian, here it is written 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community, nominated member by the President. What is the meaning of the nomination? Choosing. On the will of the President, he can choose any member from the Anglo-Indian community. Anglo-Indian means half Indian whose ancestors were the British. Indian people whose ancestors were the British, the Christian people. So not more than 3. If we do a breakup of 550, so here it is 550 plus 2 Anglo-Indian community, total member is 552. Now if we do a breakup of 550, 530 from the states, 20 from the union territory. How many union territory are there? Total 8 union territories are there. Total 8 union territories. That is Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Goa, Lakshadweep, Andaman and the Nicobar Island, and the Jammu Kashmir is recently added. Total are 8 union territory. Earlier it was 7. Now it is whatever the number of the Lok Sabha I have said, 552, it is the maximum number of the members, but that maximum means not more than 552. It is always less than that. So in the present time, in the 16th, what I have said recently, 16th Lok Sabha is going on. So the current composition of Lok Sabha is 545. I hope everything is clear. Now let's move next slide or next question. What is the qualification required to be a member of Lok Sabha? Qualification. It is asking qualification. So qualification is a normal thing. Everybody has the quality to become a member of the Lok Sabha, but the main thing is getting elected in the general election. Indian citizen, 135 crore people are the Indian citizen. It is a normal thing. You should be an Indian citizen. At least you should be 25 years of age, should not hold any office of profit. That means you should not be in any government service. Not in government service. Government service you should not be. You should not be a government servant. He should have his name in the electoral roll in any part of the country. That means you should be a citizen of India. The first one and the last one is telling the same thing. He should be a sound mind. Sound mind means not a mad person, not a mad person. He should be mentally healthy. He should not proclaim the criminal. It is not proclaimed. That means in the eye of law, he has not been declared a criminal by the court. He should not be in debt. He has not taken any loan and he has not repaid it. Again, it should be declared by the court. If the trial is going on, you are not a criminal. So these are the things. So these are the main qualifications. These are also additional qualifications to become a member of Lok Sabha. Now you can write down the main points. Let's go ahead. When can be a member of Lok Sabha disqualified? The member of Lok Sabha can be disqualified if by a forgery he has adopted Indian citizenship, or he has adopted the citizenship of any other country. He holds office of profit under the government of India. If he is holding any office, if he is accepting any of the government service, he is of unsound mind. Suppose he has become a mad person after becoming a member of Lok Sabha. He has become mad. It can happen. It is a health problem. It can come. Insolvent, that means incapable. He is in debt or insolvent. He is incapable. He remains absent without permission of the House for a period of 60 days. Without permission from whom? From the Speaker. If he has not taken the permission of the Speaker to remain absent, he can be suspended from the House. He can be disqualified from the House, disqualified by the Parliament. Okay, so you can write down. You can write down the main points. So let's move ahead. Yeah, what is meant by the quorum? Quorum means 1/10 of the members must be present for the House to begin. That means 545 are the members. 55 members have to be present. Otherwise, the working of the House will not carry on, will not move ahead. You can see the vacant seats here. These all are absent. Now, what is a minimum member to be present for the House to carry on? These two chairs, again, it is blank. What is a minimum number of the people? 55 at least. that means 1/3. The minimum number of the members required to be present in order to enable the house to do its business. If the members are less than 55, the house will not go on. Let's move. Quorum is another thing. Quorum is important question. Many times it has appeared in the board exam, so it is very important. Okay, let's move. Now, what is the quorum of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? Again, the same question I have repeated. It is 1/3. Lok Sabha, both Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, it should be there. At least 1/10 of the members should be present. Same thing it is telling. Same thing it is telling. So write down. You can pause the video and write down. Okay, let's move. Explain the term interpellation. Interpellation means right of the question, right of the members to ask question. The interpellation is also called 0 hour. 0 hour. 0 hour and the interpellation are the same. It is also given in your book, the ICSE history book. It is also given interpellation and the 0 hour. To make the students confused, the interpellation can also come. So be aware. So what is 0 hour? 0 hour is the first hour of the Lok Sabha in which the Lok Sabha members ask questions. Ask questions. Now, what are the types of the question that we will discuss in our next question? Ask question. All the members, the whole hour, that means 11 to 12 p.m. time is given for asking questions. 12 to 1. Question hour. Question hour. The first hour of every working hour of the house is for asking questions. 0 hour. Now, what is the difference between question hour and the 0 hour? In the 0 hour, you can ask question without earlier information to the minister. In the question hour, you have to inform the minister before 10 days, and you have to ask the same question of which you have given the information to the minister. 10 days earlier notice should be given to the minister or the member before asking the question. That is called as question hour. Now, the types of questions asked before the question hour. Start question, unstart question, short notice question. Start question means the asterisk mark. 10 asterisk mark question. 10 days notice should be given before asking it. You can ask in the floor of the house, in the parliament, in the oral form. You can ask this question. That is called the start question. Start question, the advantage is that in the same time the minister is required to answer. And another one is the unstart question. Unstart question is the less important question. You can ask the unstart question in the written form. And the answer will also be given in the written form. Now, short notice questions. The short notice question means you don't have to give the time to the minister for 10 days. Even in a short notice, that means in the less than 10 days of the time, you can ask question. You can give the notice of 2 days, 3 days, and then you can ask the question. That is called the short notice question. Short notice question. A question is for the urgent public importance, an important thing you want to discuss. And the last line, I hope you will be able to understand. Him to accept or not to accept short notice questions. You can pause the video and write all these main points. All these things are in question answer form, so you will not face any kind of difficulty in understanding the question or answer. It happens that students, the question is something else and the student has given the answer of something else. So to avoid this kind of difficulty, I have given the question in the question answer form. I'm discussing everything one by one in the question answer form. Okay, so you can write down these points. You can pause the video. Now we are going to the next. 0 hour. As I have said that interpolation 0 hour is the same. 0 hour. It is a kind of a it starts with the 10 o'clock, with the 12 o'clock, and the question hour continues till the lunch break at 1 o'clock. It is called, it starts with the it is called a 0 hour. Because why it is called 0 hour? Because the no work happens, no work. It is a kind of a noise, because without giving information you are asking the question, and anybody can ask any type of question. So every time it is a wastage time, because no work happens. It is a hour of noise. Everybody, as in the classroom you create noise if the teacher don't punish you. It is a kind of a noise. Every member is standing to ask his questions. So it is a noise question. 0 hour it is named because the work don't happen in the proper manner. It mainly starts after the 12 o'clock. Okay. So till the we are here. We are ending of the video. In the next video we are coming with too many questions. The rest of the questions we will discuss in our next video, because the time is exceeding. So till that, keep watching. We are coming with the next video in which we will discuss the most important questions. So till that, thank you.